Thanks everyone for joining me for the Getting Started with Vosaic Connect webinar. My name is Emir Pličanić, and I'm a product manager and UX lead for Vosaic Connect product. And Vosaic Connect is our cloud-based performance discovery product. If you're familiar with Vosaic company, you also know that we have Vosaic Studio Code, which is a Mac OS-based performance discovery product, and Vosaic iCoda, which is our iOS-based product. If you are familiar with Vosaic Studio Code, I highly recommend checking out Vosaic Studio Code webinars led by our support specialist, Justin Tanisawa. And you can simply search for previous webinars on YouTube by typing in Vosaic Studio Code webinars, or keep checking your email for upcoming webinars on Studio Code. Today, we'll go over some Vosaic Connect basics. And if you're familiar with any of our products, you'll know that one of the most essential functions in all Vosaic products is the ability to mark up moments in a video so that you can easily come back to them at a later time for more analysis. Here's a screenshot of an already marked up video in Vosaic Connect. The interface is pretty simple. Actually, it's just a video player we have in the top left. Then down below, we have a timeline with all the marked up moments. And over to the right, we have a collection of buttons. So every time you press a button on the right, a corresponding row in a timeline gets marked for that moment. Obviously, there's a lot more happening on this screen, and I will go over that in a little bit. Before we get to it, I'm going to be covering creating an account, inviting users, creating button forms, uploading a video, sharing a video, and marking up video. Okay, so if you don't have a Vosaic Connect account, it's really easy to get started. You can start with our 14-day trial by simply going to Products, Vosaic Connect page, and from there, you can click on Start a Free Trial. The next screen is a simple registration form. Simply enter your organization name, first name, last name, email, and password, and click register. I already registered for an account, so I'm just going to hop over to a different screen, show you what it will look like once you sign up. The basic interface is really simple for Vosaic Connect. The first page that you see when you log in will look exactly like this. For example, across the top, we have the navigation, we have a videos tab, and right below that tab, we have what we call an actions bar. The actions bar has two actions on the videos page. There's add new video button and search videos by name, author, or a moment. If you head over to Forms tab, this action bar follows the same pattern where we have in the top left corner, we have a create new form, and over to the right, we have search forms by form or button name. Now, forms are basically collections of buttons that you can use to mark up a video. Every account comes with a default form, but you can add additional forms, and there's no limit to how many forms you can have in your account. If you go over to the Users tab, you'll see that we follow, again, the same pattern. We have a button and a search box. You also have a little info here that lets you know how many users you have in your account and how many you can have. Free trial comes with a 5-user account, so you can add up to 5 users to your account. I'm already listed as an administrator. The person that registers for an account automatically becomes the administrator of that account. The groups page, basically, if you have, let's say you have 50 users in your account, and maybe they are split out in 3 classes. So you can create a different group for each class. So that way you can easier share a video with a whole group instead of trying to individually share video with 10 people. And you can have as many groups as you want. Over to the right, we have accounts dropdown. So when I press on that and I go to basic information, this is where I can change the organization name. As an administrator, I have access to that field. Other users under my account, if they're not administrators, they will see the name of the organization here, but they will not be able to change it. Then obviously I can update my first name, last name, or the email. Change password is self-explanatory. This is where you can enter your current password and update it to something new. And Purchases tab is where you can upgrade your license to a full account. So basically, if I click on here, renew and upgrade, it will take me to this screen where I can pick a different account that I want to go with. So let's say I want to stick with a 5-user account. That will be $995 a year. Press select, enter my credit card information, and you're all set. I'm going to go back here. There's also a discount. As you get more users, you get more of a discount. And if you need more than 25 users, we highly recommend that you contact our sales team for quotes on more than 25 users. Go back here. You can also purchase Studio Code licenses using this screen by just clicking here. Same thing, you can enter a number of licenses you'd like, enter the credit card information, press purchase, and then on this screen will change so that there will be a table listing all your Studio Code license codes so that you can manage all your Studio Code licenses in one place. Okay. Now that we've covered that, one of the first things that you want to do when you sign up for a free trial is really add new users. So I'm going to head over to the Users tab and click Add New User. When I do that, a form pops up. We can enter user's first name, last name, user's email. And this checkbox here is automatically checks. What basically that does when I press Save Users, what it will do, will send an email inviting that user to join your account. If I uncheck that, an email won't be sent to that person, basically. And here is where I can manage the roles or permissions for that users. For example, I, as an administrator, can manage all videos, perform all actions without restrictions, and I can also manage billing. Educators can watch, upload, and mark up all videos they have access to, but they cannot manage billing. What we mean by have access to is videos that they have uploaded themselves or videos that have been shared to them directly or they've been shared with a group that the educator belongs to. Learners, they can watch, upload, and mark up their videos. And again, their videos means that videos that they uploaded are videos that have been shared with them. Learners cannot create button forms. Educators and administrators, they can create button forms. Learners cannot. However, they can use button forms that have been created by educators or administrators for their videos. And then viewers can only watch videos and see the markup. They cannot add additional markup. So another thing to point out is that instead of adding users individually, what you can do is import multiple users. You click on this link here. You can import multiple users by uploading a CSV file. We created a sample CSV file you can download. The way that the CSV file looks is just like the screenshot here. There's 4 columns, first name, last name, email, and role. All you need to do is enter the information in there, and for role, enter educator, learner, or administrator or viewer, and press upload CSV file when you're ready. And so I'm going to import. I have a file here of 4 more users. And you'll see how it already in the background, it uploaded the users. I'm going to close this so you can see that. So now I imported 4 additional users. My button got disabled here because I've reached the limit of 5 users. So if I click on that user here, it says also that invite has been sent to that user. Basically, now that Jane Doe needs to open her email and then click on the button there to create a password and log in. One thing you can see here is the name of the user, that the invite has been sent, and what the role for that user is. So Jane Doe is an educator. So if I click on her name, you'll see that form is filled out. If you need to resend the invitation to this person, you can just press this button and this will send the invitation email again. And then here you can change the role of that user. Another option you have here is to delete a user. So if I press delete, what you'll get is this modal. And what it'll say is that this will delete Jane from Vosaic Connect. her videos and markup will remain, but the user information will be lost. What that means is that, let's say Jane Doe has been uploading and marking up some videos to Vosaic Connect, but she doesn't really need to work on those videos anymore. You want someone else to work on it. You can delete Jane Doe. Her videos and markup, nothing will get deleted, but what it'll do is free up a seat for you to add someone else to your account to work on it. So it's a nice way to manage the number of users that you have in your account without losing any videos or markup information. I'm not going to delete Jane Doe. I'm just going to cancel out of this. Once you have users, the next best thing to do is add some forms, button forms. Now, how you create those forms will really depend on what you want to track in your videos. So you have to have a pretty good idea about what you're planning to track and what you're planning to analyze before you start creating forms. Once you're ready to do that, you can simply click on this Create New Form button. And this will bring up a form. You can give the form a name. And we can add buttons to it. You can add up to 25 buttons to a form. You can add a button, a first button that I'm going to add. Since I'm going to be showing you a video of a traffic intersection, there'll be some pedestrians, some taxis. So I'm going to create a taxi button. And I'm going to make it a button that has lead and lag time. What that means is that every time I press this button, there will be 3 seconds added before I press that button and 3 seconds after. So maybe I'll increase this to 5 seconds. And then also it has automatically assigns a hotkey, and hotkey allows you to use your keyboard to activate the button. And automatically selects a color. You can change that if you want. I'm just going to leave it for the default here. So you see now the button has been added to this form. I'm going to add another button. I'm going to call this one pedestrian, and I'm going to make this a toggle button. What toggle button means is that it allows you to control the length of the moment by pressing it once to mark the beginning and then pressing it again to mark the end of the moment. That way you can control how long of a video you mark, how long the moment is that you mark. We automatically assign letter S to it, and the reason we go AS is because that's where your hand is on the keyboard. So you don't have to really take your eyes off of the video. You can just keep your hand on the keyboard. And then, so if you add another button, it would be D. If you add another button, it would automatically be F, etc. So I'm going to press OK here. One thing I want to point out is the difference between the buttons' visual difference. So the buttons that have lead and lag time, they have more of a square corners, and the buttons that are toggle buttons are more of a round button. If you need to change the button, you can just click on it here, and it'll pop up the modal where you can make changes and then press OK. And if you want to delete the button, simply press this bin icon. I'm just going to keep it simple with 2 buttons for the simplicity of this video. Forms can also have privacy settings. You can make a form a private form or a public form. Private means that only you can assign this form to a video for people to use. Public means that others in your organization can use the same form. So basically, if I'm uploading videos and I want to control what forms are being used, I can just assign it myself, and then everyone else has to use that form to mark up the video, and they cannot change it to something else. If I make it public, that means that everyone will have access to assign that form to their videos. I'm going to press here Save Changes. So now I have webinar form. So this is it tells me when it was created, who created it, and how many buttons this form has. This little lock icon tells me that it's a private form. So here, I'll make it public just so you can see how now it changes to the unlocked. Okay, once I have the form, we're ready to upload a video. So I'm going to go to Videos tab. The interface of the video page is pretty simple. This white area here Once you start adding video, this will be populated with lots of videos that you uploaded. So let me just show you how that looks like. Add new video. You give it a name. And if here from this dropdown, now I have webinar form, the form that I just created, I have that as an option to assign it to this video. And I press save and continue to upload. Now I can choose the video to upload. I can simply drag and drop the video onto this area here, or press choose video to select the video I want to upload. I'm going to click choose video here, select the video I want to upload. And while this is uploading, I'm just going to quickly go over the screen here. So over on the left, you see that it tells me what form this video has assigned to it, the name of the video, the date. This is the length of the video will be displayed once the video is processed. Right now, video went into processing mode. And what processing means is that whatever format you upload to Vosaic Connect, we take that format and transcode it to a format that works in all major browsers. So while this is going, I want to point out this little lock icon here again. This means that the video has not been shared with anyone. So here, let me just click on this so you can see what that would look like. I'll show you how sharing works while this is going. So if I click on this icon, this lock icon, I can share this video with specific user. I haven't created any groups. I only created users. So I can click on this and share with people that I want to have access to this video. So I can search for a user, or I can simply scroll through the list and pick users that I want to share this video with. I'm gonna press save here. And now you see that this icon also changed to unlocked. Another dropdown we have here is the edit video. So here I can come in to edit the video details. So I can press this edit to change the video name, the form that it's using, or the date of the video. So I'm not going to change anything, I'm just going to cancel out of this. Or we can also delete the video. So once it's processed, you'll see again, the date, the name of the video, a little thumbnail preview in the background. The video length is 10 minutes. And you see here that now this updated as well to say 10 minutes and 5 seconds. And here down below, you can see who the video has been shared with. If I want to remove Amy from it, I can just simply press this X, and now Amy does not have access to that video anymore. Now that the video is processed, we also have option to download the video or download the Studio Code XML, Studio Code ready XML file. But that means if I mark up video here in Vosaic Connect and I have Studio Code license, I can download the XML file and import it into Studio Code for further analysis. Close this, and we're going to go to watch and mark up the video. So this is the screen that you'll spend most of your time in when working with Vosaic Connect. Again, we have a video player, video typical, video player controls, play and pause, mute and unmute. We can control the speed at which video is played, elapsed time, and total length of the video. And then we have some specific to Vosaic Connect buttons. This one allows you to mark a moment and add a note at the same time. I'll cover it in a little bit. Or this toggle timeline buttons. So let's say you had 25 buttons here. That would mean that you would have 25 rows in your timeline. So in order to see more of the timeline, you can click this button here so you can go between the big timeline or a smaller timeline. The timeline starts at the EP. Those are my initials because you can see the timelines for multiple users. So for example, Jane Doe, if she also marked up this video, I would see her markup under mine, and the two lines for taxi or pedestrian would start with JD initials, so you know which timeline is whose. And then over to the right, we have our buttons. We have an option to change the button form. So any forms that I've created, I can select here, and then the buttons would display here for that form. Can also add a button here. So let's say I want to add a bus button. So now that's available to webinar form as well. So just to give you a quick example, I'm going to play the video here. I'm going to find a spot maybe where, oh, here's a pedestrian crossing. So I'm going to press pedestrian, and you'll notice that the button, while it's active, it pulsates. So I'm going to press it again. That stops the button, and I have a marked up moment here. So there's a few more pedestrians crossing over here in a video. So I'm gonna, one thing I want to show you while this is recording, what I can also do is drag this scrub bar, and you see how it adjusts the length of the moment. So I can scrub to a point where I want it to stop, let's say here, and then go over, I'll press S key to stop the moment. So now that moment is marked up. Here's a cab coming into an intersection. So I'm just going to press this here. So you'll notice this button, the way that it works, the taxi button, it just added 5 seconds before and 5 seconds after I pressed that. So let's do that again. I'm going to, let's see if we have another, there's a white cab back there. So I can press that, and you'll see that it just puts that moment in here. Now that I have a few moments marked up, one thing that I can also do is, oh, here's another cab that came through. I can press this button here and add a note. At the same time. So here there was a school bus. I can select a bus. That means school. Now that school bus, here's another one. But the first one was, let's say I missed it quite a bit. The bus, it was in an intersection right here. What I can do is take that moment and drag it to a point where I think it needs to be. Right, so there it is. So I can drop it here. Now, that's another way that you can adjust the moments. And you notice when I clicked on the button here, the right-hand side changed from forms to moments. So here in the Moments tab, we see a quick summary of all the buttons that I've pressed. So I pressed taxi button 3 times, pedestrian twice, and bus once. If I expand one of those, I have additional options here. So I can play all taxi moments back to back by selecting play all. So basically, if I do this, you'll see the moment that is playing, it's highlighted. And then it's going to switch to skip to the next taxi moment. And then finally, it's going to go to the last one. There it is. And this one has a annotation here. So you can add more notes if you wanted here. And the way that we indicate which moments have annotations in the timeline is by adding this little yellow underline. So everything that has a little yellow underline in the timeline also means that it has an annotation added to it. I can add another note if I wanted by just pressing this Add Note button. And I have to press Save to save it. Another thing that I can do is when I press Add Note, I can press this little icon here to continuously play that moment while I'm writing my note. So you'll see that this it'll just continuously loop that moment. So if I uncheck this again, the moment will stop looping. To remove annotations, I can just click this bin icon under my initials, and that will remove the note. If I wanted to remove the whole moment, let's say I don't want this taxi moment here, I can press on this little bin icon here, and that will remove it from the timeline. A few other things I want to point out in the timeline. So if your moments are long enough, kind of like this pedestrian moment, when you hover over it, you'll notice these handlebars. They allow you to extend or change the length of the moment. And you'll notice this one does not have that. And that is because this moment here is a little bit too short for these handlebars to appear. So what you can do is you can drag this to zoom in. Once you zoom in enough, when you hover, those handlebars will appear. Another way to zoom is to use the plus or minus keys on your keyboard. So I can press plus or minus to zoom in and to see or zoom out. One more thing I want to show is this another tab here. You may have noticed that we have webinar form tab, and then there is custom for this video only. For example, I may want to add some moments to this video that are not necessarily in this form. So I'm going to go here. So if I notice something else in this video, I can add moments to, or add buttons here. For example, so now I can mark up this video with multiple forms, with webinar form or this video only form. If I had more additional forms, I can select additional forms and mark up video with those as well. So this just allows you to switch between different forms and mark up a video, same video with multiple button forms. So that is basic overview of the player screen and how you can mark up the video. I'm going to exit this and then show you how this looks like. Once you have marked up the video on this video summary screen, you can see that marked up moments headline here. Underneath, you can see that webinar form has been used, and there is 2 taxi moments, 2 pedestrian, 1 bus moment. If I press on this taxi here, it will take me directly to the moments tab with taxi moment already selected, so I can see all the instances of that moment.